All right, folks, we got the push rods in. We got them cleaned up. They are from Trend. Yeah, they're the 8050 length, and they're a 105 wall thickness, so should have enough strength there for the solid roller deal. So yeah, I got them cleaned up, installed. I also got the rocker studs cleaned up and installed. What I did was on the intake side, this hole actually goes right through to the intake runner. So I put some thread sealant on all the studs going into the intake runner side. And then on the exhaust stud side, I actually just did a little bit of ARP lube this time around. So they are all installed. They're not torqued down yet. So now what I have to do, got the rocker arms cleaned up here. So now what I got to do is I have to center the rocker arm roller here on the stud the best I can. So I'm going to grab all the rocker arms, I'm going to lay them out, and I'm going to make sure that the rocker arms are centered the best I can on both of them. And once I found that spot, I will torque these down to 55 foot-pounds. All right, so I got those rocker arm studs torqued down. The guide plates are all aligned now nicely, so that's good. So we're ready to move on to the next step, which is putting the rocker arms all in play and setting valve lash. Now, this is going to get a little bit interesting because I don't have a cam card for this cam. And when I call Lenati, they don't really know what cam this is. So best guess, based on their other camshafts and their recommendations, we're looking at 22 thousandths of an inch on the intake side and 24 thou on the exhaust side. Now, my understanding is that it's hot lash. So because this has got aluminum heads, I know that they are going to expand, swelling up, and that means that lash is going to grow. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to knock 4 or 5 thousandths of an inch off of that number. So I think I'll start off at around 17 thou on the intake side and 19 thou on the exhaust side, cold. That way when it's at operating temperature, the heads will swell up as they are aluminum and should get us close to that 22, 24 thou. But we're not going to know until we try it, get it hot, and then remeasure and see where it's at. So that's what I'm going to do anyways. I'm going to get all the rocker arms on. Yeah, we'll set them to 17 and 19, and whenever we fire this thing up, we'll find out at that time if that was right or if I missed the mark. And boom, just like that, all done. Intake is at 17, exhaust is at 18. They're actually a pretty tight 17, pretty tight 19, but I think it'll be good. We'll see where it ends up after it warms up. But as always, guys, using the exhaust open, then you adjust the intake side, and then the intake close and adjust the exhaust side. Using that method, it's always a good go-to for sure. All right, so we're moving on to the next step here. Got the intake gaskets put on. I put some silicone on the backside around the water jacket ports. I did a little tiniest thin layer behind the intake side as well, or the runner side. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to set the intake down, and I'm going to tighten up a couple bolts on it just so that that silicone and everything can dry nicely. And just like in the past, after it's all dried up, I'll take the manifold back off, and then I'm just going to go ahead and clearance the gasket all the way around. These actually look pretty good, so it'll need very minimal clearancing, if any at all. But once it's seated where it's going to be, that's when I'm going to just double check the ports and clearance any of them if I have to. So I got the intake all cleaned up here. Well, actually just the top here, I got to clean up a little bit more yet, but the rest of it's clean. So it's a 2925 is the part number. It's a Super Victor deal. So I think the RPM range on this one is 3,500 and up. And the camshaft, from what I'm gathering, is probably about the same, if not a little bit higher, like 4,000 and up. So should be okay match. We'll see how that part runs, I guess. But yeah, we'll get that manifold put on here. All right, so now I got the intake set on there. I actually just went ahead and threw in all the bolts, but I didn't do silicone in the front or the back yet, as I do want to pull this off and just double check the gasket placement after. So we'll let that cure, and then we'll pull it off and we'll continue on that side. Also got the valve covers here. So I will clean those up, get those ready to go, and I can also put those on. And then after that, we'll flip her around and get the oil pump put on and deal with the oil pan. Okay. I'm sorry, but I missed some footage. I'll show you where we're at. Yeah, it's done. Intake is on. I did the trimming like I was talking about. It all worked out well. And got the intake torqued down. I did the valve covers. And then after that, flipped her upside down. Let's see, put you guys upside down a little bit too. Got the oil filter holder, whatever you want to call it, the adapter on there. And as you can see, it is actually plugged off. Here there's actually a screen that is spring loaded on a stock one. So with this one being plugged off, it's going to force all the oil through the oil filter. So that is on, done deal. I could post a picture of the oil pump and pickup screen section there. I mean, it's nothing special. It's just the screen or pickup screen that came with the oil pan. It's a Hamburg oil pan. It's got the baffles in there. Sorry, I think I was pointing the camera a little low there. It's got the baffles in there, and it's also got the crank scraper in there as well. So it's actually a really nice piece. I really should have shown you that, but I'm sorry. What else? The usual trick with the Play-Doh. Grab yourself the Play-Doh and a shop towel. Put it on top of your pickup screen. Put the Play-Doh on top. Put your oil pan gasket on there, and put all the pressure down on your oil pan. So you're squishing the Play-Doh, and then take it off and measure it. See what your pickup screen to bottom of your pan clearance is. This one is sitting at 300 thou right now, and I'm happy with that. So we're good there. I actually saw how short the pickup screen was, and I was like, oh, this is actually not going to work, but it actually worked out perfect. So yeah, there's a few odds and ends yet, like the plugs on the cylinder head for a temp sensor. I'm probably going to go on this side here. The other side is just going to get plugged off, so I'll do that plug yet. What else we got? We are going to be running a mechanical fuel pump on here, so I haven't put anything on here yet. So we're going to wait and use his stuff off the old small block Chevy he had in his Camaro. So yeah, that's it. That's it. That is yet another build. A little bit more high level, I guess, for the most part. But yeah, looking forward to hearing this one run. I believe he plans on putting it in this weekend. I won't be around. Me and the wife are going to go see Granger Smith in Fargo. So really looking forward to that. So we'll see if he gets any progress done in putting this thing in the Camaro or not. But whenever we fire that thing up, I'll get some footage for you guys, and I'll post it in a video somewhere. This thing running, and if all goes well, he does plan to spray it, run some nitrous through it, and I think have it in Altona drag races. I mean, by the time you guys see this video, the races are long over, so he's probably run it already. So, but yeah, I'll show you some footage of that car when it's done. It'll be pretty fun and exciting, I think. So thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned for another one.